Hello, everybody. I'm Chuck Gibson. This is Loveland Beacon Talks, and it is my pleasure to introduce to you once again, because it's been a while, but I have with me Tori Morrison from the Ben Morrison Fund and Stacey Lund. And we're catching up because it's been almost 2 years since the last time we talked, Tori, as we were talking about. There's a lot that's been going on. Since you have Stacey with you, and obviously I'm happy to have you both, but Tori, you want to give us a quick start to like what's been happening the last couple of years, because Ben Morrison Fund is just doing so much.
Well, specifically, we finally got our license plate approved in the state of Ohio. It's called the Continue Your Story license plate, and you access it by going to organizational plates from the state of Ohio's website and search for Continue Your Story. And as of now, I know that there are 53 of them out already, and this has just been since June.
I was just going to say, what was the start date? I was thinking it was August, but gosh, it was been since June already.
It's been since June.
So, and you have yours.
Of course I have mine.
Mine just got able to renew it.
Okay. Well,
I haven't got
Tori's
mine.
got hers. Stacy's coming up
Yep.
on the renewal and going to have the Continue Your Story Ohio license plate.
Yes.
That's an Ohio thing. That's not going
Correct.
to, we're not trying to get into Indiana and Kentucky.
No,
on that. Okay.
it's just in Ohio, and $10 from each license plate comes back to the fund.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You're ahead of me. That was my next question. So when you do the Continue Your Story license plate, it's kind of like paying for a vanity plate thing, right?
It's exactly,
And
yeah.
so then the $10 of that goes to the Ben Morrison Fund.
Yes,
And you're wearing your Ben Morrison Fund Continue Your Story shirt
I
today,
am.
Tori.
Of course I am.
If the people were watching this,
They would see
see
it.
that.
Yes.
And Stacey's going to talk to us a little bit about her shirt, which is the Ben Morrison Fund 988, because at the end of the day, that's what this is about. And for some of the listeners, as you're listening to this, if you don't know the Ben Morrison Fund and Tori Morrison, of course, Ben was your son.
Correct.
So, I hate to do that to you, but just for the listeners, Ben passed away.
In 2021,
Right.
he was 19 years old, and unfortunately he took his life.
Right.
And we had no warning. We had no idea that anything was going on with him. It just happened one day.
Right.
And we sat in the hospital, and I remember saying, how does this happen to a kid like Ben? And I always say, not because Ben was so special, obviously we think he was special, but because he was just a normal average kid, and we're a normal average family, and these things, you don't think these things are going to happen. It's not your typical, like, what you think of. And unfortunately, that is the trend now. More and more, that is what we're seeing. I'm meeting more parents that are saying, I had no idea, and I don't know how this happened in my family.
Right. Well, unfortunately, as we're sitting here across from one another, and we've already talked about this, it happened at my house too, to my younger brother. So, you can feel it. And like you said, and that was some years ago. Mm-hmm. But like you said, the trend has grown much higher. So I like the Ben Morrison Memorial Fund, which you started, obviously after Ben's death, erasing the stigma of mental health struggles. And I added the comment, which you have in there, saving lives of young people. And
that is our ultimate goal.
Yeah.
I mean, that if we can save one person when we do an event, if we can save one person by sitting here talking to you, that is the goal.
absolutely.
Or the license plate.
Or the license
The more
plate.
important thing about the license plate is that hopefully somebody that needs to see Continue Your Story
Right.
while they're driving.
Yeah, if it triggers,
and
yeah.
they'll say, okay, I'm going to continue my story. So that's the big thing about the license
Well,
plate.
I'm glad you said that, Stacey. And we're going to flip over to you real quick. There's so many things, but what's coming up, which I know you're jumping out of your seat.
Ready.
Stacey is ready to talk to us about the Cincinnati Gives campaign that's
Yes.
coming up, and of course, I'll let you go from there. Tell us about Cincinnati Gives and the timing and all that.
Well, Cincinnati Gives is an awesome, fun, friendly competition amongst nonprofits in the Cincinnati area. Cincinnati Magazine hosts the event, and there's prizes, and it's about 100 participants. Last year we raised over $19,000, and we were 8th place, which we were very excited because that was our first year doing it. So that's 8 out of like 100.
Well, take me back. I'm going to interrupt you for a second. Let's go back. First of all, the dates for Cincinnati Gives, because it's coming up. We're recording this on Thursday, November the 20th. By the time people are hearing it, it's going to be at least Friday the 21st and Saturday the 22nd of November. But it's coming up and starts December
1st at 5:00 p.m.
All right.
To December 11th. Ends at 5:00 p.m. And
Right.
we have fun things going on.
Yeah.
Follow us on Facebook. We have a bunch of fun social media incentives and prizes and kind of games and challenges. And then along with that, we have a popcorn sale going on from this really good company. It's called Double Good, and it's great for gifts. And then we have some events. We have a bourbon tasting at Bishop's Quarter, an afternoon tea that we're hosting at the Loveland Museum, wine tasting at Rosé, and DVD, we're guest bartending.
Right.
So
DVD Brew here
yep,
in Loveland. Right.
Yep. And so that will be super fun. And
Well, tell me real quick on the DVD Brew guest bartending. So, like, a portion of all the drinks sold, and then tip. How does that work in terms of the fundraising?
a portion of the it's more of raising tips.
Okay, I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was
yeah.
the tips is what
Yep.
makes the
So,
difference.
yep, that makes
So,
the
well,
difference.
listen to everybody. Make sure you go to DVD Brew on the right day and see your favorite guest bartenders from the Ben Morrison Fund and tip them big time.
Yes.
Right.
Even if you don't drink.
Just order water. We serve
go drop
great waters.
tips. Go drop tips in the tip jar. But it's cool. So the tea at the Loveland Museum Center, and then what were the other one? Repeat the
Bourbon tasting.
Bourbon tasting.
Wine tasting. I'm not going to go through all the dates because
Right.
it really gets confusing.
Oh, yeah.
Probably the best way is to go to our Facebook at Ben Morrison Memorial Fund on Facebook, and all the events are listed. Gives all the information, the cost, how to sign up, because all of them you sign up differently.
And I will put that information in the lead-in story to this,
Okay,
where they
awesome.
click on this on this podcast when it's published. So the
Okay.
Ben Morrison Memorial Fund Facebook page, and I did see that earlier today. I was looking at it and saw, man, oh my God, what are all these events?
Yes, we have tons of
Cincinnati.
events.
I mean, I knew they were for Cincinnati Gives, but 19,000. So a little bit more background. You said there's like 100 organizations.
Yep.
There are so many more than that in the greater Cincinnati area. How do you get chosen to be part of the Cincinnati Gives? How does that happen?
Well, you volunteer.
Okay.
So you sign up. There's different levels. You can just any nonprofit can just
We want to do it.
enter and win, or enter and just do it. We went a little, upgraded our avenue of getting involved. We
Right.
actually have an ad in the Cincinnati Magazine.
Very good.
And so that gives you just a little bit more promotional
Right.
publicity.
Right.
So anybody can join if they're a nonprofit. It just helps to have that in the magazine. And then you got to push it. I mean, it's like you have to have a lot of Facebook presence, a lot of social media presence.
Well, hopefully the people who hear this understand that and got to push it. December 1st through 11th, Cincinnati Gives, Ben Morrison Fund. I know I checked into that last year, and it's easy peasy. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
It's easy peasy.
It's easy.
Get in there. You can make a straight donation. You can go to the events and have a blast. Whatever works.
Yeah, whatever works.
Yeah.
So there's something for everyone. You don't have to be involved in any of the events, and we're definitely not expecting you to do all of the events. Just pick something that you like. Again, if you don't want to do any of them, you can just donate. And our goal is $25,000 and to be in the top 5.
That was the next question, because I said I was
Yeah.
going to say you did 19,000 last year and 8, top 10, which I thought was awesome.
Yeah,
You
we
guys
were
Yes.
so
top 10.
excited. Yes.
It was really fun.
Very
It was
excited.
fun to watch, and that's another thing for the people listening. Watch the
Yeah.
whatever how the teams are doing, so
Yeah.
to speak,
Yeah.
It's a fun event for those 11
We went to
days.
the kickoff last year, and we're going to do it again this year. And
Where do they hold that?
well, was at a different place last
Okay.
year because I think that place is closing. So I'm not sure where we're going this year. But they actually have like a countdown going on this screen to show you when it starts, and so that's kind of exciting. And then it has this.
We're at 10 days right now, by the way.
And
Yes.
then it has this thing that pops up to tell you like the first donations coming in.
Oh.
So it's like it was super fun to be there and watch that and see that start,
Oh, man.
Even if they weren't our donations, it was still cool to see that,
That really
start.
raises the energy and excitement level for sure.
It does.
To see the clock. Well, again, that's why I say for the people listening, watch it as it's happening. Because, be careful, though, because you will be inspired to give again.
Yeah, that's right.
But, if you're a little short on funds, don't watch so much. No, I'm just, just
We
kidding.
have a lot of other fun things. Like we have a thing where we're trying to get a donation from every state. We have another thing that Stacey's planned with bingo squares where you
fill a board.
Yeah,
So
we're
you
trying
can
to
choose
fill
how
the
much you
board
donate.
and, on a certain day. And we have great prizes for people that donate on certain days at a certain level of money. And we have one company for sure that is going to match donations one day. We'd love to find another one to do that on another day, but we do have one that's going to do it. So
Well, here's a quick question. From last year, do you know, what was your biggest fund day during the 11 days last year? Do
You know what? I don't. And that being our first year,
Yeah.
during this little competition, they do have different days and they have different prizes. So they do have a day that is like the most donations. They also have a day of the largest donation.
Right.
I didn't really, this year we're going to try to pay a little bit more attention to that. Last year,
Well,
I was just
especially if
trying
you
to
get somebody
through
that's
it.
going to
Right.
match donations. Hopefully they get it on your biggest day.
Right.
That would be great.
yes,
And
exactly.
again, hopefully, maybe somebody's listening, another company will say, hey, we want to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Match the matcher, or
Yep.
whatever it is.
It's good for your taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so that's the big thing that's coming up. The Cincinnati Gives and all those events. And like I said, people, you can donate. You don't have to go to the events, but you can donate straight up, and it's easy to do. But the other thing, I want to go back a little bit. The golf outing took place.
Yes.
I forget what month. Was that September?
It's always in
Oh,
August.
in August. All right.
It is the fourth Saturday in August, as we have a set date now at Hickory Woods.
I got you.
And I'm telling you, every year it just gets more fun than the previous year.
Well, I know we chatted about it a little bit before, but
Yeah, because
and
I
it was
was-
a success. But why was it a success?
Well, I mean, we did chat about it. We were one team shy of selling out, so had you signed up, we would have sold out.
No pressure,
No
Chuck.
pressure at all.
Well, I don't
but
know
I'm
what
just
happened to
saying,
Loveland. I have no idea what happened to Loveland Beacon, why they didn't. I apologize. If you're one short next year, just call me.
I will call you.
I know
was-
one of the problems is Chuck is not a golfer.
I
That's the
know.
biggest
I
thing.
know.
That's
But I do, and we talked about this.
Yeah.
Loveland Beacon does a team and a couple of different outings each year.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, those were taken before
Yeah.
Ben Morrison.
Well, now you know the date. It's the fourth Saturday in
Saturday.
August.
And I know the date of the other ones too. But anyway, that's okay.
No, I understand.
We're gonna have to
There's
set
there's
aside some Loveland Beacon. By the way, anybody that wants to advertise on Loveland Beacon to help fund our golf outing donations, just give me a call.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, we understand. There's a lot of good
Right.
charities out there that are doing wonderful things at golf outings and stuff. One of the things that made ours so successful this year is we were at our Cappies, one of our Cappies fundraisers,
yeah.
and this guy came up to me, never met the guy before. He said, I hear you do a golf outing. I got this great thing for you to do. It's called putting for booze. You line up on the putting green, all this different alcohol, and they hit the ball, and if they hit the bottle, they get the bottle.
Now, how many bottles broke?
No bottles
No
broke.
bottle. Oh, thank.
No
I
bottles
forgot
broke.
to ask you when we were
Yeah.
talking about that before. I meant
No.
to say how many. You didn't break the bottles.
This got to be such a fun thing that people went inside and got their food and brought it out and stood eating their food watching everyone else do it.
Great.
It just got so excited. People were cheering, and and obviously the more people drink, the more willing they are to donate or try.
and all
you
that
know.
does is increase the amount of money raised to help the Ben
That's
Morrison
exactly.
foundation. So
Yep, and all of our alcohol is donated.
that's the
So-
best part.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we'll be doing that again next year and looking for
But
alcohol
then you
donations.
put it all, and all the alcohol is gone. You didn't have to take any home and drink it yourself.
No.
Right? Okay.
No.
No.
It was
I didn't.
gone.
I
It
didn't
was
see her
gone.
staggering around
No.
town the first week of September.
No, it was gone. So that I think was really.
Yeah.
But like I said, it just keeps getting better and better. We have so many foursomes that come back every year.
Yeah.
We try to make it as fun as we can. Stacy has a wonderful hole that she does that's the Zing Zang hole. And so when you come around, you get a little cocktail if you want.
Stacy's smiling while you're saying that. I just
Yeah.
so the people, because they're not watching this, and they can't see it. She gets a big smile on her face. Just for,
It's really fun. Everybody
Sounds
loves that.
like
It's in the shade,
you get a cocktail.
and they get a cocktail. Yep.
Margarita.
Which hole is it? You remember?
9.
Yeah.
Okay.
You get a margarita, or a mango margarita,
Mango margarita, regular margarita, Bloody Mary,
pina colada.
and a pina colada.
And
Not
what-
all of those.
No.
One
I
of
want
each.
like half of one
Yeah.
of those, and I'm done. So just for the
Yes,
record,
one of each. Not one of each.
I'm just saying.
Choose
Um,
one.
Yeah, pina colada sounds all right because I like coconut, pineapple.
Yeah.
The Zing
But
Zang pina colada is really good.
I'll bet it is. I'll bet it is. Anyway, which all translates at the end of the day to, and do you know, is there a final tally from what you raised this year?
I think we are
Qualifying?
close to 25,000 this year,
Nice.
which would be our biggest year ever.
Yeah.
Still waiting for a couple of things, but
And
yeah.
so now you're like going for like 50,000 next
Yeah,
year.
I mean, every year you have to outdo yourself.
Make the goal
Maybe if we
higher.
had that last final team, we would. Never gonna let it go.
It's okay. It's all right.
It's
Well,
okay.
if you don't ask, you push the buttons and see what happens.
right.
I'm either going to run away or you're going to get some money. One of the two.
I think he's gonna give me money to shut up.
Yes.
How much is it for a team? No, you don't answer that now. 'Cause, you guys will, that information will be available.
Yeah.
Again,
Well,
pay attention on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
Ben Morrison Fund. I mean, I see the things all the time. As much as I hate social media, but Loveland Beacon has to be there too. So
when we feel
I
the
see it.
same way, I think that social media is really hurting a lot of our kids today.
Right.
But unfortunately, it's a necessary evil that
Yeah.
we all need in our lives to carry on our business and do our things. And one of the things that I always tell the kids when I talk to them is that you have to trick the algorithms of social media, and you do that by flooding your social media with positive things. And one of the things I tell them is follow us on Instagram or whatever social media that you're on, because we are constantly posting positive things.
Right.
And if you start following groups like us and other mental health groups that post these, you start seeing more and more and more and more instead of seeing the negative.
Yeah, I saw
And
a
that's
couple.
what you
I
need.
saw a couple today.
Yeah,
you always,
absolutely.
There's always a message there. And again, the reminder from the continue your story, and hopefully, somebody does see that play.
Yep.
And figure that out, get that message, and keep going, because it's,
And
there was, and I'm sure you've heard this, so it's the, it's a permanent solution to a temporary problem.
Yep.
And so continue your story.
Yeah. And that's exactly why we use the semicolon, because the semicolon in a sentence means pause.
Yeah.
And that's what we would wish that kids would do, adults would do, whoever would do, is to pause before you go on to your next action.
Right.
Because it is a permanent.
Yeah, take a minute. Take a breath.
Yes.
Yep. A breath, 5 minutes.
Yeah, take a breath. But, so we've been having a blast talking about some of the events, and Tori talking to somebody about getting a golf thing. I'm looking behind me, I don't see anybody. But, and that's all good and fun, but it's, at the end of the day, the message still stands about, stopping the stigma
Yes.
of the mental health struggles. And so one of the things, again, I said we talked about 2 years ago,
Yes.
right when you were really getting going with the Ben's Way. So you guys, Tori, Stacey, share a little bit about what's happening with the Ben's Way and what Ben's Way means and does, because I think that's really an important piece of what you all are doing.
So Ben's Way actually was the idea of one of our other board members, Kate Jackson, who heads it up now. She recognized we were at an event and she saw a student really helping a special needs kid and spending his time not on his phone but with this kid. And she was like, that's the kind of thing Ben would have done. And so we started also putting that together with a lot of the comments and things that I was told after we lost Ben by people of the good, wonderful things he did. And I say it, and it's like I feel like I'm a broken record, but, I was Ben's mom. I was yelling at him about taking the garbage out. It's not, you don't see this side of people always, So we found out this whole other side of Ben and all these wonderful things he would do. I even had a substitute teacher come and tell me how Ben helped her when she was a long-term sub at the school with this awful class. So, this is just, yes, he was a little, teenage
your
boy,
son. Yeah,
right?
Yeah, but they're always stinkers to their mamas.
Right, of course. So we said somehow we have to recognize this. We have to find a way. And so that's how Ben's Way got started. And we are currently in, I think, 12 school districts.
I thought it was 12 schools, 9 districts.
12 schools, 9 districts. I'll go with that. That sounds
I think
good.
that's
12
what it is.
schools, though.
Yeah.
That's...
But 9 different districts, because we're in 2 schools at Loveland, we're in 2 schools at Little Miami and stuff like that. But so
Well, this is in the space of, just 24 months, really, a little bit more than that.
About,
since you started.
2 years,
Yeah, a little bit more than 2 years.
Um,
and I remember, because when we talked about it that 2 years ago, and I asked you, Loveland schools, we're all, I think you were talking to Kings already or something. Mm-hmm. So that's great to hear, 9 districts.
Yes.
And 12 schools. That's, that's good.
And we're ready to spread it any school district that wants it.
Yeah.
I think it's just so important to recognize when kids are doing the right thing.
Yeah.
I don't think they're always recognized.
Right.
And that's what this award is really about. So any staff member can nominate someone and give the reason why they're nominating them. Every school has someone that's kind of in charge of it at their school.
Right.
Because obviously we can't manage it at every different school. So every school has a person.
They don't want Tori Morrison walking the hallways of 12 schools.
No, nor does Tori have time to
Trying
do
to
that.
see if that kid's...
Yes.
Yes. But, so any staff member can nominate the kid. If the kid is selected, they receive this card that says, "We see you representing Ben's Way."
Right.
And it speaks about Ben was unselfish and kind and a leader and looked out for others. And, we need more people in the world like you and Ben.
Yeah.
And here's a Amazon gift card for $25.
And that answers all the questions I had. What do you do? How do you get? And what do you get for doing it? So
Yes.
the kids are recognized, and they get a nice little gift card. $25.
They do.
And as we talked before we started recording, so there's already been over 100
Yes.
kids in these schools around the area recognized and received. So that's $2,500.
Yes.
That's gone to recognize kids for,
Yeah, we start
lifting up others,
Right.
as it were.
We start each school with a box, and it has 48 cards in it. And obviously, because 48 is important to us, that was Ben's football number.
Right.
So we start them off with 48 cards. So we really have invested more than that, more than the
Oh, sure,
2,500
yeah,
you're
yeah.
talking. But we want them to have it on hand. We don't want them to have to come to us and say, "Hey,
Yeah, we just
I need a gift card,"
Right.
And then, but it's always done with the, caveat that when you're getting low on cards, let us know. We're going to replace them. And we have some good sponsors that are helping us with this. They're all, I don't want to start mentioning them because I'm afraid I'll forget somebody, but they are listed on our website. There's a whole page for Ben's Way, and it shows the schools that are involved. It shows the sponsors that are involved, and it is $1,200 if you want to sponsor a school.
Nice.
That's the
Yeah.
cost. Because
So,
we cover the cost
I think
of
I'll
the
do
cards.
the golf thing instead.
I think you should do the golf thing instead. That's a little bit cheaper.
I'll do the golf outing.
And also, if any school is interested in the program, they can go to our website and they
The
can email
website
us.
is, now it's on you, Stacey, www.
benmorrison.org.
No.
When are you going to, now here's what I was going to say. When are you going to change it to www.bmff.
It's
Okay.
BMMF.
Yes.
Oops, yeah.
So you can go to www.bmmf.org and it will take you to that. You can also go to continueyourstory.org and it will take you. But the actual website is benmorrisonfund.org.
benmorrisonfund.org.
Yes.
So all this goofing, listen again, nice and slow, Chuck. Ben Morrison Fund, all one word, .org.
Correct.
But if you do do a search, BMMF, not BMF,
Yes.
BMM, two M's, F,
.org.
and that'll get you there too.
Yep. I'm pretty sure if you just type in Ben Morrison,
That's
you're gonna
why,
find it.
yeah. If you type in Ben Morrison, it will come up.
Yeah, just search Ben Morrison.
Yeah.
It's not quite just put in number 48. It's
No,
not quite there
not
yet.
quite there yet.
But,
But
no.
if you type in, at least when I type in BEN, it comes up right away.
Right.
How about that?
Yeah.
Well, that's because of your.
I,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm on.
I've
I,
put in
I
Ben
type
now.
in Ben
Who
all
knows
the
what
time.
I'm going to get? But
Yeah.
I'll get.
It
But
comes
it'll
up all
get
the
you
time.
there.
Yep.
Yeah.
BenMorrisonFund.org.
Correct.
And the Facebook page, you find it. It's all there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Facebook
At the
page,
website.
it has all of that, and you can contact us that way. Too.
And I personally think the website looks good and it's easy to navigate and people can find what they're looking for.
Well, thank you. I do it myself.
Really?
I
No,
do.
I thought it looked good. I looked at
Thank
it again
you.
today. Just
Yeah.
I try to be halfway prepared when we're going to sit down and talk. At least halfway prepared. Which brings me to when this started, we knew for sure from what you shared there was going to be scholarships.
Yes.
The Ben Morrison Memorial Fund was going to provide scholarships to students.
Yes.
And so how's that going?
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. It is probably my happiest night of the year.
Not bad.
Ben loved nothing more than to someone give him money. And I just know that is the one thing he's probably smiling at me about. Everything else, he wouldn't like the attention, but he is happy I'm giving kids money. I forget what our total is so far. It's like 52,000 or...
It's something like 52,000, and I want to say there's like 45 scholarships.
Yeah.
That have gone out.
Yeah, that've gone out.
And then when do you award the scholarships?
So we award those along with Loveland High School. So they set the terms and all that, and it's typically sometime in May
Okay.
for the seniors. We give out 3 different scholarships. There's one specifically for a lacrosse player, there's one for a football player, and there's one for a volunteer. We found out very quickly that there's tons of kids that volunteer for us, and we needed some way to give back to them as well.
Right.
It is out there on school links, which is what Loveland school kids use, so they can actually start filling out those applications right now.
Excellent.
Yeah,
And they're so fun to read.
they are. We've got...
You know what? And we talk again. That's something that was really cool. We talked about that before.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, today we got about 2 minutes.
Okay.
So what I wanted to do is, in the last 2 minutes, besides me saying that's it, what did we miss? What do you want to share that I didn't give you a chance to share? What is the message you really want to get out to the people about the Ben Morrison Memorial Fund?
That's a tough one.
Tori's looking at Stacey. Stacey's looking at
I
Tori.
would just say that we, just in the last 2 years, I think we've really reached a lot of people. We sponsored a billboard on 75 and 5 other locations throughout the city that said, continue your story on it. And that reached
Countless.
countless,
gosh,
50,000 people minimum of seeing that. So hopefully, we're just trying to reach more people to save lives, to continue your story. And Loveland appreciate all of the support and the generosity of this community and other communities as well, because we couldn't do it without them. But I really think our message is just to really reach people to ask for help. I think that, I know that's hard to ask for help, but it's worth your loved ones to just ask for help.
Right.
And see if you can, get through whatever you're going through and continue your story.
Yeah, it's you really touched on it there because it's not something to be ashamed of.
Right.
I mean, mental health is important, and the struggles that people go through. I mean, it's all around you. Like you said, you don't think it's going to come in your own house, and you don't see it because people are. So talk about it.
Right. Talk about
Continue
it.
your story and say, hey, you know what? I'm struggling with something.
Right.
So I think that's a strong message.
And
that
if
guys
you
share.
had a hurt foot and you're limping, I would say, hey, Chuck, are you okay? I noticed that you're limping. And you'd be like, yeah, my foot's been bothering me for a really long time. Well, why don't you go to the doctor? Okay, well, yeah, you're probably right. But see, I could see that you were hurting, so I asked. But sometimes you just don't see that.
Right.
And you don't have a problem going to the doctor.
Yeah, no, it's.
You wouldn't go right away, but I mean, still, you're like, you have a hurt foot. Someone says go to the doctor. You're like, well, it'd probably be a good idea. And then you go. It's the same thing.
Well, and every day we're hearing more and more athletes come forward and talk about mental health. And I think that is going to help kids today more than anything. Because to see these high-level professional athletes come forward is just amazing.
Well, you know what, and it is amazing, and we're seeing and hearing that. And it's like the kids. These are the people that they look up to, and they think they're perfect, and then they compare themselves against some super elite athlete, and they have no idea that wonderful athlete has got his own struggles,
Right.
and it brings it home. It's human. So
It is human.
I think you guys have a great message. We could continue this story for many, many more minutes, and we won't make it. We're not waiting 2 more years to get together and talk about
Correct.
it again, because
Yes.
it's a great message. But Tori Morrison, Stacey Lund, thank you so much for joining us here on Loveland Beacon Talks. But we're out of time.
All right, thanks
All right.
for having
Well, thank
us.
you for having us.
It was my pleasure. And so until next time, that was Tori Morrison, Stacey Lund, talking about the Ben Morrison Memorial Fund. And this is Loveland Beacon Talks.